Pedro from A&P-Reacts. I'm here with Tommy of Kamelot to talk about this new tour that they're just embarking on. Only a few shows under your belt, but how's the experience been so far?
You know what? It's been great. It's been really awesome being back on the road. Needless to say, it was a couple of years there. We didn't see too many people, and it's always the reward of creating an album or creating music is to come out and play. So, yeah, it's been amazing. This is the 5th show, I think, and the second one in Canada is my new home country. So it's been really. Yesterday was fantastic. So hopefully tonight will be amazing as well.
Are you getting treated as a Canadian, as you should?
Everyone's sorry all the time, so yeah, I think so.
Are you adopting that kind of dynamic as well?
I think I've always been a little bit like that. So I fit right in. I think I want everyone to get along, like we just talked about before, and I kind of always acted like the glue in every group. Like trying to make everyone, feel okay and feel seen. So yeah, I think it's in my nature. So I fit in, I think, quite well.
Being a Canadian now, touring in North America, do you see a difference in the markets? Is it more visible to you, the difference in fans in Canada versus fans in the U.S.?
No, I think it's very similar, actually. It's all about the appreciation for the music and the band. I think it's no matter where in the world you go, I think it's similar. It's just people that either grew up listening to the band or have some kind of strong emotion connected to it, the music, or it doesn't really matter where in the world it is. The love comes out in different ways. Like if you're South America, they're just crazy. They're just like wow. And if you're in Japan, they're very polite, but they still have all the love. And if you're here, I have to say though, like North America is probably one of my favorite places to play because it's just I don't know, it feels, it's very comfortable to tour because it's of all the you can go get food everywhere. There's a Walmart in every city that's open late, and you know where you can get your stuff, and then also the people are just, I don't know, very appreciative and very, very friendly.
Well, when you look at the touring across North America, you said it's one of your favorite places to tour. Without putting any real cities on the spot, is there a place that you always look forward to? Maybe because of the venue, maybe because what it means to you. Maybe there's a little bit of a deeper history there. Is there a specific spot that you always feel excited about performing at?
Well, like first of all, basically every spot, because it's like. You grew up watching all these movies, and as a European, it's very exotic. Just being in the United States or in Canada, it's just, it's like the stuff of dreams when you grow up. So for me, like the first couple of tours, every place was like that, and I'm like, wow, this is American pavement, but like just like in the movies. But I enjoy the nice weather. This time around we're touring a little bit earlier, so we're touring when there's still summer. So now basically it doesn't really matter, but I'm looking forward to the nice weather usually. So start of the tour, and then the last 2 weeks of the tour is usually like when you come down in California and Texas and all those things, because the weather is usually perfect already in September, October. So
Yeah, I think the last time you guys toured in North America was around November, if I'm not mistaken.
Could have been, yeah.
Yeah, late October, early November,
Yeah.
around that time. So the weather there starts to become a little bit more dicey depending on what city, on what part of the continent you start to hit.
Right, and I think that's, it's then you coming from, when I was living in Europe, then Europe is very gloomy in November, so it's really nice to, be able to have, be outside and have a t-shirt on, that's very nice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, but this tour has been fantastic so far, and I think it's going to continue, with the weather.
Speaking of the tour, you guys back on the road with Battle Beast. Last time you guys toured in North America, you also toured with Battle Beast. Is there a partnership forming here like Batman and Robin?
Yeah, they're awesome. They're just an awesome band, awesome energy. killer songs. I mean, it's a really great package we have with Zandria, Battle Beast, and us. So I don't know. I know that people are getting, a lot of bang for their buck when they go to these shows, and that's part of why we picked them, but also that we got along so nicely on the first run we were, and they're just awesome guys, And anyone who knows Finnish people, they're just once you've had the beer with them, then you're friends for life, right?
In a sauna.
In a sauna, yeah, but you can't even enter the sauna if you haven't had a beer.
Yeah, that is true. There is a prerequisite before entering the sauna.
Right.
You guys have a new album. You're obviously touring in support of that new record. Is it become more difficult to please everybody and include all the songs that everybody wants to hear when you keep adding records to the discography?
Yeah. Oh man, it's always the thing that we're, torn about and divided, and like what songs are we gonna cut basically from the set list and what to bring in. Obviously we want to play at least a few new songs from the new album, but then you have to also cut a few from the set list that you just played, which feels already like you cut too many songs. So yeah, it's getting hard, and it's, I guess, we go with songs that we think are going to work live and that people want to hear, and that fit in the kind of theme of what we're trying to do as a show. So, we can see some comments here and there, like people want to hear a lot of the old songs, but then the tough part with that is that it's maybe then 3 or 4 people that know the song as it stands today, because we have also a lot of new fans coming to the shows. So we're trying to play the songs that we really think we do well, and then the songs that work and go over really well live, and not necessarily the songs that maybe 1 or 2 people want to hear, even though they're great songs.
When you guys are designing the tracks for the set list of a new tour, do you guys sit around a round table?
Yeah, right. No, there's no round table. We're sitting in each country, and we're like. Mostly it's Thomas and me and Oliver. We talk about those things, but so it's a what do you call it? A triangular table.
You have Melissa with you on this tour. I mean, she toured with you guys in Europe, so it's not like the first time that she's hitting the road performing with you guys, but it's the first time that you guys are performing with her in North America. What's been the fan reception so far, having her as your leading partner, if you will?
It's been really, really great. Yeah, she's a really good fit, and people seem to really, dig what she's bringing to the table. And it's Kamelot has always been, you have to have a classy side, but then you have to have a fierce side, and I think she's balancing those two really, really well.
You guys are going to be performing at ProgPower, part of this tour run that you're on. Do you adjust the set list? Do you adjust your expectations when it comes to playing at a festival versus one of your headlining shows?
Yeah, well, in this case, I would say maybe not, because we have, it depends on the set length. Ideally, we would like to play this set at a festival, but usually the festival set is shorter. So then you have to cut songs and try to, make it work as a whole. But I don't really know how long the set is for ProgPower, but I think it's probably around 1.5. So I think we can squeeze our set in pretty 1-to-1. So. Not really a different approach, no.
Are you doing something to... I was looking at the set list. I'm not going to lie. I went on Setlist FM, as I always do before a show, because I'm always curious to see what I'm going to get. Yeah. And I was looking at the amount of songs that you guys are playing, and it's like... It's insane. Mm-hmm. Are you doing some jumping jacks or drinking some hot tea? Because there's a lot of work for you tonight and every single night of this tour.
Yeah, you tell me about that. That's a good... sum up, I think. No, you really have to. I mean, a part of it is trying to be prepared all the time, but also, when the adrenaline kicks in, it just kind of automatically happens. But yeah, it's a lot of songs, especially for a singer. It's tough to doing any headlining set is tough because it's a marathon of songs. I feel like, but I don't know. The energy keeps me going, and of course, when you wake up the next morning, you're like, oh my God, can I even sing today? Some days, right? And then slowly you try to warm it up during the day, and some days, I'm not gonna lie, it's tough, of course, but yeah, it's been good so far.
Did you try to squeeze in some sight seeing while you were on tour in order to kind of break away from those thoughts of, oh my God, another night, another show?
Yeah, we haven't had that much time to do that so far this tour because we have had meet and greets and things. It's usually between sound check and the show you would do something if you had the time, but we've had stuff to do in between, so nothing really so far. It's been mostly off days. When you can. We spent one day at the Niagara Falls, and you could go see the falls, take a little boat ride on the, below the falls. So it's crazy, but nothing too crazy. I've been on so many U.S. tours at this point that I've managed to go to like most of the things and see most of the things, if only for like 5 minutes, but at least I've been there. So so far not, but hopefully when the tour progresses, I know a few spots that I want to go to.
Do people ever recognize you when you're out and about doing things like that, or even just leaving the bus to go grab food, or you go like incognito to avoid the paparazzi?
Yeah, the Canadian paparazzi.
They're terrible.
They're really, really polite. No, yeah, it happens sometimes. It doesn't happen too often, but like I was in Stockholm walking around in the city, some dude came up and just like freaked out, and I was like in my shorts, my Hawaii shirt, like, yeah, somehow they find you, but yeah, it doesn't happen that often. I mean, yes, if I were to go outside now around this venue, yeah, of course there were people. Had a woman chase me down in the convenience store right now, but yeah, it's not crazy by any means.
One last question for you. You guys tour a lot outside of the pandemic, obviously, where nobody could tour, but you guys are always on the road, jumping from continent to continent. When you're on tour, do you take homework with you in terms of starting to think about new songs, new tracks, or that is left alone and you just got to enjoy the moment?
I know everyone does it differently. I don't think about other music or new music. I just my focus is always on the show, and when I'm done with the show, I'm just like, okay, I'm out. I'm just gonna go to bed. So no, and I think most of the people, except for Oliver. Oliver is working on his production sometimes on on his laptop here on the bus, but most. Of the other band members are not. We're just in this little bubble, tour bubble, and then when you get out, that's when maybe you have some creativity come with you, or you just gotta rest a little bit to get new energy. I mean, it's such an energy outpour, at least for me personally. So I tend to not think so much about new music on the road.
Tommy, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure meeting a fellow Canadian in person. Because I told you before, I'm claiming you as one of ours, and I don't care what anybody else says, because it's true.
Right, it's true.
So I'm going to stick with that. Thank you very much for your time. Have a wonderful tour, and I'll be seeing you guys at ProgPower.
Thanks, Pedro.